I really didn't think I was capable of this. I underestimated my power. And this is what happened. We have this very large perennial bed. It's something like 20 feet by 35 feet. So it's substantial. And we planted it about 12 years ago, and it's become overgrown and it looks like garbage. So it needs an overhaul in a serious way. I've been putting it off for a couple summers because of its size. It's huge, and I don't like to dig. I don't like that sort of activity. I'm active, I like to stay strong, but that did not sound like fun, so I did not want to do it. But it just got to be really an eyesore, and it made me feel bad every time I looked at it, even though I tried to maintain it. I would pull the weeds every year, 2-3 times a summer at least. I tried, but it still got the best of me. Because over the years, we've had it for at least 12 years, our once neat and orderly garden, it was once organized, individual areas of plants. There were Shasta daisies, irises, yellow coneflowers, purple coneflowers, butterfly weed. I like to cut the plants and use them in vases around my house. That was so much fun. The butterflies enjoyed them. The bees enjoyed them. So it was beautiful at one time, but then nature just took over. I bought more plants, added more stuff. It became overcrowded, even though I would thin it once in a while, but it just spread like wildflower, like wild, like it just spread. I can't think of the word. And I would buy these perennials, and the garden centers would say, no, it doesn't spread. It'll be okay. Anyway, I'd put it in, and it would spread. I had these white anemones that spread like crazy and choked out the other stuff that was trying to flourish. So it was bad. And I was stuck because it just seemed really hard, too big. I felt guilty about wasting these plants because I was going to have to dig it all up in order to start fresh. I could not save things because they were so entwined with weeds, and it was going to take me, several sessions to do this. It could be a couple weeks. So I couldn't have plants dug up and sitting off to the side waiting to be replanted. They would have not lived through that. And again, they were just surrounded with weeds. So I also had this fear that if I tackled this project, completed the project, that I would not maintain it and it would turn to a plot of garbage again. So that was my fear, that I wasn't going to maintain it. So maybe you can relate. That's a common fear with decluttering, that all your hard work is for naught. In a few years or a few weeks, it just comes right back. But I sucked it up and I said, come on, Jill, you can do this. The time is right. Let's do it. I decided to break it up. There's no way I could have dug up this entire plot in one day. So I spent about 3 hours, 5 days over a couple weeks, so 3 hours each time. And I really wanted to get it done now in May. That's when I did it, before the mosquitoes hatched in Wisconsin, because they're horrendous in Wisconsin, if you live in Wisconsin or in the Midwest. And I don't like to be outside if they're prolific and they're biting me. And also the heat and humidity can be a real downer, and it's hard for me to work in those conditions. So the conditions were right, no bugs, and it was in the 50s, cloudy most days. It was perfect. And I also was tired of having it on my to-do list. I was tired of wanting to do it and not doing it and then feeling bad about it. My husband had enough to do. He helped me with some of it, very little of it, but he had enough things to do around the yard. So that's why it was me and me alone for the most part. But when I started, and I took before photos each day, when I started, I saw progress, and then I started feeling motivated, excited, and really confident about what I could do and capable. It was a good feeling. And then I took care of myself too. I took a pain reliever every day. I stayed hydrated, so self-care is important. And I did a yoga practice in the evening each of those days for my lower back and my hamstrings, because I knew that those needed stretching. And I love yoga. So it's basically sitting on the floor and stretching really slowly. No difficulty at all in doing that. So I took care of myself. That's important. And now I have a plan to maintain this area. We are extremely simplifying the area. It's probably just going to have one tree, maybe a crabapple, a weed barrier, like that fabric to keep the weeds from coming back, and a nice thick layer of mulch that we will replace, or not replace, add to every 2-3 years whenever it's needed. So I am committed to making this change and to maintaining this. Maybe we'll add a few plants, but it's not going to get out of control like it did before. So I'm so excited because I completed it. I am capable. I did it. I can do hard things even though I didn't want to. So it's very exciting for me to see this transformation and this fresh start. I can't wait to see how nice it looks once we get it planted with a couple things. Super exciting. I hope this inspires you to get started on a project around your house, decluttering, and motivated, and I hope you feel capable because you are. You are capable. If you need a fresh start, a transformation, and you live in the Madison, Wisconsin area and you're really having trouble getting started, don't put it off. Reach out for help. Give me a call and we can talk about possibly working together. I would love to hear from you. Thank you so much for joining me. Take care.